Hey, welcome back to our Achievement Hunter series, aimed at storming through the Barrens gameplay achievements. We've rushed our way through Warrior and Warlock achievements thus far, and this time there are 3 Shaman achievements for us to bolt through. Let's get into it. This should be interesting. For today's video, we're covering the following 3 achievements. Murlockdown, asking us to destroy 50 enemies with Murlocs as a Shaman. Extra Organic, ultimately requiring us to deal 150 extra damage with nature spells, and My Dear Watson, calling on us to introduce at least an elementary presence onto the board 5 turns in a row. As we don't have to win games to complete these, we can take some peculiar approaches to completing these when it makes things more interesting or efficient. All these guides include timestamps for each achievement and deck codes for each deck mentioned in the description below if you'd like to skip to one you're looking for. Now, let's solve these achievements. Why not start with the most elementary of achievements for Shaman? My Dear Watson expects us to play an elemental onto the board 5 turns in a row. That's it. This one is really simple and doesn't even require that we do it as a Shaman. So if you have enough neutral elementals, or would like to sate your sweet tooth for meme decks with a Confection Cyclone and Mage, it's possible to come at this one from a very different direction. But do note that this requires us to actually play, not just summon elementals onto the board. So while Grand Finale is an awesome follow-up to completing this, the spell itself won't actually help towards the achievement. However, at least in Standard, Shaman currently has the strongest elemental package, so you might prefer to stick with him. Arid Stormer is a powerhouse card for the Elemental Shaman package right now, and it's actually the elemental that got us the achievement when playing this Bru'kan's Elemental Burst Shaman. This deck is one we designed early on to mesh the elemental package with a burst damage combo capable of dealing more than 30 damage in a single turn. To deal 30 or 31 damage, you play both Imprisoned Phoenixes onto the board 2 turns before your combo turn. As they wake up, you drop Bru'kan onto the board, which sets your bonus nature spell damage to +7 total, meaning 2 lightning bolts and a Serpent Shrine Portal or Dunk Tank will take out a full health opponent. Though extra lightning bolts from Wandmaker or additional spell damage from the Rune Dagger can zap through any armor the opponent might be wearing as well. This is a fun one to get progress towards the elemental and extra spell damage achievements all at once, but in practice, the win rate wasn't all that amazing. A deck that does have a pretty nice win rate and a few more elementals to ensure you complete this one quickly is this Elemental Watchposts Shaman from HSReplay. It's really good at dominating the board and sending a decent amount of burst damage at the opponent's face to close out the game. With 17 elementals starting in the deck and 2 more being generated by Menacing Nimbus, it shouldn't be an issue to play an elemental 5 turns in a row. Of course, if you're up for a truly bizarre way to pull this off, you might try this elementary spell damage Mage. The elementals serve as decent bodies to inherit Egwin's spell damage, and although the primordial protectors are expensive, they generate a lot of pressure while often drawing towards the final board flood or burst of damage needed to close out a game. It's not the strongest way to play Mage at the moment, but it's a lot of fun. Enjoy taking opponents to school with whichever deck you choose to complete this one. So what's something that's not usually covered in elementary education? The benefits of going organic. For this next achievement, we're going extra organic. Terrible transition, I know. Anyways, now that we have spell schools for a fair number of spells in the game, we may be seeing more targeted achievements like this. Spell schools do allow Blizzard to print cards like Bru'kan, which can provide a lot quicker progress towards this one. But fortunately for players who don't have Bru'kan, there are lots of other ways to boost the damage of nature spells. The Bru'kan's Elemental Burst Shaman deck we mentioned during the last section has a number of these cards already. Thalnos, Imprisoned Phoenix, and Rune Dagger, which are all common or free with the core set. Aside from the OTK combo mentioned earlier, this deck runs a couple nature spells that will help complete this achievement quickly, as long as you've got a little spell damage lined up. Lightning Storm, Tidal Wave, and a corrupted Dunk Tank all deal additional AoE damage as part of their effect, speeding up progression towards this one. If you don't have Bru'kan, it won't be possible to do a full OTK with this, but Novice Zapper would be a decent replacement. However, if you want to knock this one out quickly in Wild, using a card that has been an MVP for all of the achievements thus far, Mad Summoner, you could try out this Mad Elemental Destruction Shudderwalk deck we modified from Jammerman's Shudderwalk Shaman. This version does destroy a few of the synergies and value from Shudderwalk found in the original version, but it's an amazingly quick way to get a ton of progress towards this achievement. The idea is to have Emperor Thurician discount Bru'kan, Mad Summoner, and Elemental Destruction by 1 mana so that you can play Bru'kan out, flood the board with Mad Summoner, and destroy everything with Elemental Destruction, getting you 42 guaranteed extra organic damage. And the plus side is that if you don't pull the full combo together and haven't played Mad Summoner yet, the original value from the Shudderwalk can still win the game quite often. Though you can drop Bru'kan or Thalnos alongside Landslide or Lightning Storm to help buy time and get progress towards this when you don't draw the Elemental Destruction in time. Now, while it's possible to complete this achievement in classes other than Shaman, in Standard at the moment, none of the nature spells in other classes deal direct damage, so it's not worth building around that. However, Druid, Hunter, and Rogue all have options in Wild if you're set on pulling it off in another class. But even with help from the original Malygos, it'll take a really long time if you do go that route. So how will you embrace an extra organic lifestyle? If only for a moment. And now it's time to lock down the final gameplay achievement, Murlockdown. This one is strictly limited to Shaman, so Paladin decks are out of the picture this time, even if they might have some better options in Wild. Since you often have to value trade during the first couple of turns to take control of the board with a Murloc deck anyways, any Murloc Shaman deck can complete this relatively quickly. So, if you're looking for a straightforward, inexpensive, and decent win rate deck to pull this one off, this Murloc Shaman from HSReplay can do the trick. The Lushwater Scouts are particularly helpful towards this, as giving your minions rush when they get summoned allows you to trade into enemy minions right away, and if they survive, you get to smork with them as you probably want to anyways. Firemancer Flurgle also has a similar upside that his effect can take out enemies while still letting him go face as much as possible. But if you're in the mood for getting extra value from destroying enemies with your Murlocs, we experimented with a few Murloc Shamans running Magic Fin. While we played a number of different versions, and the card draw in this version is a little light, we had more crazy highlights with this fun Murlocs version from one of our viewers than any of the others. There's a link above to the highlight video for this deck if you'd like to check it out. But if you want Voracious Reader and or Lushwater Scouts back in the deck, you could swap them with Prize Vendor and Circus Amalgam, and the deck should still perform quite well while still opening the door for crazy Magic Fin value. Now, one awesome combo for ridiculous progress towards this that I should mention, which doesn't exist in Standard, but is really strong in Wild, is pairing Toxfin with Firemancer Flurgle. If Flurgle has poison from Toxfin, every new Murloc played generates a wave of poison to clear the opponent's board. So of course, they'll do whatever they can to kill Flurgle, but sometimes you can clear a full board with that 3 mana combo. And if you're eager to try out that combo in Wild, you could play this No Fin Can Stop Our Quest deck. It's fun, it's crazy, and it's powerful. If you don't want to sacrifice a little bit of the win rate to the craziness which is the Unite the Murlocs quest, you can drop it for Old Murk-Eye, Sir Finley Murgleton, or even Felfin Navigator. Whichever direction you take, it shouldn't be a problem for you to Murloc down the board. Enjoy. And that's a wrap. If you found this helpful, drop a like. It'll help others find this video, because it's as though the YouTube algorithm is constantly evolving to share helpful videos. And we'll be doing guides for the rest of the Forged in the Barren gameplay achievements as well, so check back soon, or subscribe, because we make amazing content. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comments. And if watching content live is your thing, check out our stream at twitch.tv/SSAlchemist. We currently stream on Saturdays and Sundays. And remember, you're awesome. Thank you for watching, and have an awesome day.
Strength and honor. This is who we are.